That is the question. Welcome back to my channel. If you are, this is your first time on my channel, then please watch the video until the end, and then don't forget to click on the red subscribe button down below, and also ring the bell, and like and share this video if you find this video lesson helpful. Okay, boys and girls, if you have watched my previous live class, I put the link right over here. Then in that lesson, I talked about relative pronouns, but I do not have enough time to touch on the topic of who versus whom. So this video is specifically going to be focusing on that. So it is quite confusing, but no worries, we are going to look at them in details with some examples, and then we are going to do some practices. So if this topic is something that keeps stressing you out and to choose, then stay tuned and let's get on with the lesson. Okay, before we get on with the video, just remember that in English language, in formal situations, in formal English, especially in written English, you often use the relative pronoun who instead of who. But when you speak, it is still understandable and acceptable if you use who. Alright, to better understand the topic of who and whom, you must first remember what is the subject of a sentence and what is an object of the sentence. Look at this sentence. He calls his dad. He calls his dad. In this sentence, he calls his dad. He is the subject because he is the one who is doing the action, which is call. And the dad is the object because the dad is the person who receives the action or who is the target of the action, which is call. So dia telefon ayahnya. So dia adalah subject in the sentence, and ayah is someone yang dia telefon. So ayah is the object. Okay, can you get it so far? Now you have understood what is the subject of a sentence and what is the object of a sentence. So another one that you need to first understand before we move on to the topic of who versus whom is the subject and object pronouns. So here's the example of the subject pronouns and the object pronouns. So in short, before we go deeper, just know that who is used for subject, and so it can be replaced with all the subject pronouns, and whom is used for object. Whom can be replaced with the object pronouns. Alright guys, so you use the pronoun who when you are giving more information about the subject of the sentence, or when you are asking about the subject. One quick tip that could help you to remember this is that you use who when you can replace it with the pronouns he, she, they or they, depending on who is the subject you are talking about. If it's a girl, then she. If it's a boy, he. Okay, so let's look at some examples. The first one, look at this sentence. This is the girl who is a dancer. This is the girl who is a dancer. So here you can replace the word who with the pronoun she, because it's a girl. So the sentence can go like this. This is the girl. She is a dancer. So when you can replace it with the pronoun he, she, they, you use the relative pronoun who. Alright, if you could answer the question with the pronouns like he, she, they, or as we know it, the subject pronouns, then you can use the word who in your question. For example, who is that boy over there? Who is that boy over there? For this question, you can answer with the pronoun he. He is my friend. He is my friend. So, whom is used when you want to give more information about the object of a sentence or when you are asking about the object. And one quick tip, just like with who, if you could replace the word whom with the object pronouns such as him, her, or them, then you use the relative pronoun whom. Let's look at some examples. Try and look at this sentence. That is the boy whom I talked to last night. That is the boy whom I talked to last night. So here in the sentence, you can replace the word whom with the pronoun him. You can restructure the sentence like this. That is the boy. I talked to him last night. That is the boy. I talked to him last night. Alright, so in question, if you could answer the question with the object pronouns such as him, her, or them, then you use whom. For example, look at this question. To whom do I submit my homework? To whom do I submit my homework? So for this question, you can answer like this. I submit my homework to her. I submit my homework to her. So because you can answer the question using the object pronouns, so that is why you use the object relative pronoun, which is whom. Get it so far? Never mind. If you still don't get it, come, let us go and see some more examples. Before we get on with the exercises, how about we look at a few more examples? So, the first one is who. Look at this sentence. The girl who lives next door is my best friend. The girl who lives next door is my best friend. So here you can see that this sentence is all about the girl. So the word who over here refers to the girl, which is the subject of this sentence. You can also restructure this sentence like this. The girl is my best friend. She lives next door. The second sentence, my mother, who is a chef, works at a famous restaurant in town. My mother, who is a chef, works at a famous restaurant in town. So the relative pronoun who over here is referring to my mother, which is the subject of this sentence. Because this is the focus of the sentence, therefore it's the subject. And you can also restructure the sentence like this. My mother is a chef. She works at a famous restaurant in town. So, can you see that we use she, the subject pronoun she, when we replace the relative pronoun who. So, if you can replace the relative pronoun with the subject pronoun she, that is why you use the subject relative pronoun, which is who. Alright, let's move on to the question form. Let's look at the first question sample first. Who is that boy over there? So you all tahu kan? This question is specifically asking about the boy. Dia nak more information about the boy. So the boy is the focus of the question here. And that is why that boy is the subject of this sentence. So that is why also we use the subject relative pronoun to ask the question, which is who. So who is that boy over there? Who is referring to that boy, the subject of the question. Alright, and you can answer this question like this. He is my cousin Shah, for example. He is my cousin Shah. Alright, so look at the second example. Who took your pen? Who took your pen? So here it's not clear what is the subject because dia tak ada noun kat situ macam tadi ke atas tu dia ada that boy kan. Kat sini tak ada pula orang dia. So you're not really sure. So how do you know asking about the subject? It's because who is referring to the person who is doing the verb. The verb over there in the question is took. So when we want to talk about the person who is doing the verb of that sentence or the question, so technically we are talking about the subject, because dalam ayat or dalam soalan, subject adalah orang or nouns yang membuat verb tu, yang melakukan perbuatan tersebut. So this question is asking who took your pen? Siapa yang ambil pen awak? And you can answer this question like this. She took my pen. She took my pen. So he and she are subject pronouns. That is why when you can answer a question using the subject pronoun, so you need to use who in your question. Okay guys, get it so far? Now let's move on with the second relative pronoun, whom. I know it's a bit difficult, but let's look at a couple more examples, and hopefully these two examples could help improve your understanding even more. Alright, so the first one is a statement or a sentence. The boy whom I borrowed the book from. The boy whom I borrowed the book from. So the relative pronoun whom over here is referring to the boy, and the boy here is the object of this sentence. Wait, what? Kenapa object pula? Sebab dia duduk depan kan? So confusing. But if you try and to look at the sentence closely, the subject for this sentence is actually the word I, because I is the one who is doing the verb. I yang borrowed the book. Saya yang pinjam buku. So saya yang buat perbuatan tu. So in English, if the noun is the one who is doing the action, yang melakukan perbuatan, that noun becomes the subject of the sentence. So saya pinjam buku tu daripada siapa? Saya pinjam daripada the boy. So that is why the boy is the object of this sentence. And you can also restructure the sentence like this. I borrowed the book from him. Awak boleh replace kan, gantikan whom dengan the pronoun, object pronoun him. I borrowed the book from him. Alright, the next one is a question. So in this question we use the relative pronoun whom. Why? Because we are asking about the object. Macam mana nak tahu? Okay, because actually if you look closely in this question, she yang going, she is the one who is doing the action. Dia yang pergi. So dia pergi dengan siapa? So siapa is the object for this question. Alright, so that is why in this question we use the relative pronoun whom instead of who. And lagi satu petunjuk dia adalah because we can answer this question like this. She is going with him. She is going with him. Object pronoun. So if you can replace the relative pronoun whom with the object pronoun him, or you can answer the question using the object pronoun him or other object pronouns, then you use the relative pronoun whom. Alright? Faham tak? Okay, so alright, now that you have seen all the definitions and examples, how about we do some practices? Hey guys, people say practice makes perfect, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's begin. The first one. This is the doctor blank treated her when she was ill. This is the doctor blank treated her when she was ill. What do you think, boys and girls? If you answered who, then well done. That is correct, because who is referring to the doctor who is also doing the action treated, and that is why it is a subject. Now let us try the second one. This is the girl blank I saw at the party last week. This is the girl blank I saw at the party last week. What do you think? Let's see. The girl is an object because it is the target of the action saw. So that is why we use the object relative pronoun whom. What did you choose? Now let us try question number 3. Blank wrote that song. Blank wrote that song. Which one do you think? Who or whom? Great! The answer is who, because we are asking about the subject who is doing the action wrote. So we need to use the subject relative pronoun in this question, who. Alright, the last one, question number 4. She is the poor girl blank the prince fell in love with. She is the poor girl blank the prince fell in love with. What do you think is the answer? So here it tells about the person the prince fell in love with. So that person is the object of this sentence, and that is why we use whom. Great job, everyone! I know 4 questions are not nearly enough, right? But that is all the time we have for today's lesson. But hey, you can go and check out some more exercises online. Alright, boys and girls, before we wrap up our lesson for today, just to refresh our mind, remember that who is for the subject of a sentence and whom is for the object of a sentence. And you use who when you can replace the word who with the subject pronouns, and you use whom when you can replace the word whom with the object pronouns. You can rewind this video back to look at the list of the subject pronouns and the object pronouns. So, thanks for joining me for the lesson today. Hopefully, I will see you again in my next video. And if you haven't already, please click on the subscribe button down below and also ring the bell. Don't forget, like and share this video with all of your friends so that everybody can learn about this it's not hard, but it's some sort of confusing. So help your friends out, share this video so that they too can learn about who versus whom. And hopefully with my explanation, you guys are able to understand the difference and which one to use when it comes to writing, who or whom. Okay guys, until I see you again in my next video, bye and assalamualaikum. Peace out.